Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Healthy Me Podcast. And today it is truly one of my biggest honors to this date is, I'm sure you all know this face, I'm sure.
Hi, guys.
I have Chrys Peterson with me today, and I am so honored to talk with her about her journey and what she does in the health world. Chrys, thanks so much for being with me today.
It's my pleasure to be here. I'm not an expert in health. We all struggle, right? So we'll just kind of talk about maybe some littler steps you can take just to kind of keep the old engine going.
Thank you. You know, and I think for me, I hate getting so emotional. Okay. I hate this. For me, I just want to help.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. I don't care about the money. I don't care about, being in the eye and things like that. It's just, I just want to see a smile be put on someone else's face.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and this was something like through this whole entire year has really been a rough year for me. I ended up saying to my counselor, the only thing that really matters to me right now is when I get to heaven, I just want God to say he's proud.
Yeah. You're a good person. You are a good human. You helped others, right? I mean, that's it exactly. So here's a way to do that, which is great.
Mm-hmm. One step at a time.
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
But I think you should keep cooking too.
This is the idea this is just a mock-up. This is the idea for the magazine. But what she first showed me was this.
Well, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So this has been I set it at my desk like this. And it's my reminder of what I'm doing because that was so important to me.
Aww.
So important because of all the advocating that you do.
Yeah.
And I know that when we talked before, that was like, no, I'm not so much into
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like the healthiest person to talk to here, Tara.
But it was all the advocating that you do. And I don't know if I told you or not, but my passion, my absolute passion is working with cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I enjoy working with cancer patients. A lot goes back to my family and losing the person that I knew as my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed away, that was my kind of like, I need to do something. And so when that happened, I started doing more certifications and training and whatnot in cancer. And when that happened, I went up to
cancer nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ended up going up to Chicago to Cancer Treatment Center just to see how, what a cancer patient goes through and what they do. And I was blown away, totally blown away on what they do and the support system that they have behind them. Mm-hmm. Every single person that walks through that door that is a cancer patient, there's a minimum of 10 advocates around them. That's awesome. A minimum. And they said the reason why they do that is because they know that every holistic or every avenue of health is so important to a cancer patient that they want them to be a team member for that person. And so that was one of the best experiences that I ever had. And so when I came back from that, I ended up getting a certification. And I put it on social media that this has been such an honor to get this, and it's changed my life. And not expecting anything from social media, anyone to post something, my step-grandmother saw that post and she looked at it and she said, do you think that if you would have had that knowledge when Mark was sick, that you could have made a difference for him? And it stuck with me because my answer was absolutely. I may not have been able to, it may have prolonged it, but it could have made a difference.
Impacted it, yeah.
Yeah, it could have made a difference. And so that has always been in the back of my mind of what can you do? Mm-hmm. How can you help? And so when I'm helping cancer patients, that's the thing I hear all the time. Why didn't the doctor tell me this? Or I don't understand, or this is so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. well, we're here to help.
Yeah.
And we'll bring whoever we need to bring on to help you through this.
It is so interesting how people just in general are very uneducated about food, right? You grow up going to McDonald's. And as a mom, you're just like, oh, it's such a treat. But then it turns into not a treat because you're going 3 days a week because it's convenient. And, but I just feel like no, we just don't know a lot about food.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be great if we had some kind of education about that earlier in our lives, because you can only make good choices if you know what those choices are. And they don't spend a lot of time telling you about that as you grow up.
No.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
No. So that really changed my thought on how my endeavors and my advocacy, where it goes. So I know you do a lot with Susan G. Komen, and what other ones are you a part of?
I do some things with the Victory Center, which is
okay.
also cancer based. Also with the Hickman Cancer Center at ProMedica.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like main three, I would say, in town that I am involved with, for sure. But then, I've done some things over the years for the Heart Association, the American Heart Association. I helped, my girlfriend was one of the candidates for the Leukemia Lymphoma Woman of the Year a couple years ago, and so I helped her with that. There are a lot of really good causes out there. And you just, when you know someone who has been affected by something, really makes a difference. Before I came to Toledo, we did the muscular dystrophy telethon at my previous station in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And so I got to know a lot of kids with muscular dystrophy, just doing stories with them. And from year to year, somebody might not return the next year, and so it just really hits you when you have that personal connection, when you see what people go through. And I just think there is not a person on earth that doesn't know somebody that's been through a cancer journey.
Absolutely.
So cancer seems to be the one that kind of sticks out, and I am very confident and very hopeful that research is going to put us in a place where we don't have to worry about it as much. There are some amazing health stories when it comes to cancer. Leukemia is one of them. I mean, they can cure leukemia. I think also just the messenger RNA, and during COVID when they were saying we are going to put this vaccine out, and people thought, oh, that was really quick. It wasn't quick. That mRNA, they've been working on that in labs for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were able to attach something to it that was able to help you in that way, that is going to be the cancer cure. I mean, already it used to be there was like a generic chemotherapy everybody would go through for X, Y, or Z cancer. Those are so targeted now to your specific cancer that it's incredible to watch how people respond to that and the prolonged life that they have. And that doesn't happen without raising awareness, raising money, doing research, and people who are brave enough have the courage to go through the trials and test it out.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I have a lot of soft spot in my heart for folks who are willing to take that plunge too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So with your journey when it comes to health, I know we talked a little bit on the phone about that, and you said something that really intrigued me when you made that comment, and you said how, well, I may not be the healthiest person, but I'm making a conscious effort. And the funny thing was, like, I think everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own platform that they do. And with you, you were in the light for many, many years, and you still are.
Yeah.
How is your journey? What does that look like when it comes to now?
I think certainly as we get older, it's a lot harder to keep weight off. It's a lot harder to find time to exercise or feel confident about exercising. When we start losing some of those physical characteristics that we have come to rely on, even, balance, or if you go through a cancer journey, some of the chemotherapy might leave you with, little feeling neuropathy in your feet that, causes you to not be as sure of yourself on your feet. So I think there are a lot of things that happen to us as we age. It's like our minds, we want to be who we were at 25, and you just can't. And so what I have come to realize is somebody I heard once just say, you have to keep moving. And he meant keep physically moving, because the more you move, the more your body is used to moving, the more you keep your joints and your muscles and your bones healthy. That infrastructure of our bodies is really important. And the more able you are to fight off something if you come down with something, which is really important.
Yes.
So one of the scary things about COVID is that there were so many people with all of these underlying conditions that made them susceptible to what was happening and to have a bad outcome with the virus. I wasn't worried about it for myself, but I was worried about people who have diabetes, people who have lung issues, COPD, those types of heart, liver, kidney issues. All of those things are contributing factors to you not being able to fight off other things as they come up. So my goal for myself is just to stay moving and stay healthy enough that I am feeling like my immune system can handle whatever comes up.
You do a lot of traveling.
I do.
So even with that part, do you find it harder to do your health aspect by traveling?
Yeah. I mean, you're eating out. There isn't always a time for you to go for a walk or go to the gym or whatever it is that you want to do. I don't often get in a swimming pool because it messes up my hair. I know what you're saying. You're saying she doesn't have that much hair, but it's true. It shouldn't take that long. But you know what I'm saying is that it's just like an ordeal to get in the pool and then have to totally redo everything. But I do think that it's hard when you travel. You don't know what facilities are going to be available. Maybe there's one treadmill and somebody's already using it when you go down, and you don't have enough time. If you're in a hotel, you don't have enough time to stick around or go back. So that makes the times that you can work out and go for a walk all that much more important. And I will also say that I have found for myself, scheduling it, like putting it in my schedule, is really important, because it's just easy to say I've had a really long, hard day and just sit on, and watch TV or relax or listen to music or read a book. So I do audiobooks when I walk. So this is my little reward to myself when I'm walking, that I can listen to an audiobook. I love podcasts also. So I enjoy those. And it's just kind of an hour of time where you can treat yourself to some laughs or some information, through a book or a podcast, and then also get some exercise. And I am a full believer that fresh air and sunshine, this is what my grandmother said cured everything, right? Fresh air and sunshine. She is opening up the windows when people are sick, because she's like, this fresh air is going to cure you. I mean, I think there's a lot to those old wives' tales from, our grandparents. And so I think just being out in the elements also is really important. It makes you feel good.
Do you go outside?
I do.
A lot?
I do. We have a wonderful park across the street. We have with walking trails.
Oh, nice.
We have a walking trail here in the neighborhood that you can follow. So even if you only have 15 minutes, you can get out there and just walk, a couple times around the neighborhood and get back home and say hi to the neighbors as you pass by. And it is really, there's a lot of research that shows being out in nature is really important for your health. It grounds you, and there's something that happens with your body when you are barefoot in the grass or climbing a mountain or hiking or something, and I believe it because it makes you feel good to be out breathing that
And
air.
it works for you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that story because I have done a lot of research myself on being outdoors and vitamin D and fresh air. And, you see in the wintertime people are inside their homes. There's more sickness.
Yeah.
Where actually one of the doctors that I work with, that was one of her things. Like when you feel something coming on, open up the windows.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying.
Yeah.
Open up the windows, get some of that breathing in, because that will change. You're not breathing in the same germs. It's all fresh air that's coming to you. So I think your grandma's right.
I think, let me just tell you this, I'm also kind of a fair weather person. I'm not out walking in the rain, and I'm not walking in, 0-degree weather either. I will bundle up to about 30 degrees. And after that, I'm inside on the treadmill. I do have a treadmill. And then my reward is watching one of my Netflix shows or, something while I'm on the treadmill at the same time. So you kind of kill two birds with one stone and feel like you're doing something good for yourself, and you get a little reward there.
Do you find, it just makes me wonder, because I'm one, I could not go on a treadmill because oh dear Jesus, I've only gone a half a mile.
I know. It feels like it takes long.
and so people have said to me, like, put on a podcast, put something on TV and watch that, because your mind's not tracking how far you've gone. It hasn't worked for me, but have you found that it does work for you?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Okay,
I mean, I still feel like I don't cover near as much ground on the treadmill as I do when I'm out walking.
Yes.
And when I have like 2 different trails that I follow. Well, 3 different trails. One is a 3-mile, one is a 5-mile, one is a 7-mile. So if I'm feeling super ambitious and I have a couple of hours, I'll do the 7-mile. But I know like where I should be at each time. I'm a quarter of the way done. I'm halfway done. I'm 3/4 of the way done. You don't get that on a treadmill. You can kind of see you've gone a mile, you've gone 2 miles, but it's not really the same as seeing the physical surroundings around you change. But I do enjoy, there are some shows that I really love to watch, and it's a great time to also be able to catch up on some of those things. There are so many good TV shows now with all the streaming services. So, and people always are recommending things to me, and I don't have a lot of time to just sit and watch TV. So that's kind of a little cheater way to get those shows in.
Sure. That's I love that idea. So, with what you're doing now, retiring from WTOL, you're still out in the public. What's next to come for Chrys?
You know what? I just am always looking for ways to make an impact, basically. I mean, I feel like another thing that is really important to our health is purpose. And making sure that you know what that purpose is and that you have something to get up for in the morning and do every day. One of the things that we find with elderly people too is that they retire, they can't get up and go out like they used to, and they feel like they're not impacting people, or they really don't have a purpose, and it impacts them in such detrimental ways physically. And so to me, I just keep thinking, okay, every day get up with a purpose and, look for something that you can do to make life better for somebody or make the world better in some way. So I left WTOL in 2014. It's almost 10 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a long time, yeah. But I started my own business. And I'm still doing that. I do leadership and communication training. I work with the Blanchard Company out of California as a consulting partner. So they'll call me and say, would you be able to train this class in Cincinnati or Arkansas or wherever? So I work as a facilitator for them. And for me, the jazzy part about being in television was raising awareness about things that were happening, whether it was breast cancer and how you could detect it and be educated about it and get help if you needed it. Or if it was something, a new government program that was gonna help you pay for school or, you know, get the lead taken out of your house or whatever that is. Being able to give people information that impacts them in a positive way was important to me. So I feel like now with the leadership and communication training, that impact is still there. I'm still able to connect with people, still able to help give them tools that they can use to impact themselves in a better way, and then for them to use to impact others in a better way as well. People often get promoted in positions to leadership positions. You're a great chef, you're the best chef we've ever had. Now we're gonna make you the leader of all the chefs. And being a great chef and being a great leader of chefs are two different skill sets. And then often they don't give you that skill set to be the leader, you know, for the leader part. So you know a lot about the skill that it requires, but people find themselves floundering and, man, I used to be so good at this and now I'm not. What happened? And it's not that anything happened, it's a different skill set. Mm-hmm. So being able to go in and just give them some tools that they can use to move forward and say, oh, okay, you know, I get this now, and I can be a better leader, which impacts their employees, which impacts, you know, their families and production at the workplace and happiness in the workplace when you have a good leader. So that still makes me feel good about what I'm doing.
How does that, with all of the travel that you do, and, you know, we touched base on, you know, the movement that you do, what do you find, because I'm sure, like, how do you find the time, like, mentally to get you into that good, healthy space with everything that goes on?
Well, I will say that I have fallen out of my habit and I need to get back into it. And something I did 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, I challenged myself to walk at least 2 miles a day, every day for 30 days. I knew that there were going to be some days where I was going to have like an all-day something, but that's why I said 2 miles, because you can do 2 miles in less than a half an hour, and it just seems like you would always be able to find 30 minutes at the end of the day or wake up early at the beginning of the day to make sure you fit it in. And what ended up happening is I went usually 3 to 5 miles a day, and I did for 63 days. And the only reasons that I stopped on the 63rd day was because we were going on a mission trip to the Middle East. And so I was getting on a plane and we were there, and you know, it was harder to kind of fit that in with the group schedule and the travel. But getting in the habit, I can remember how much I missed it.
Interesting.
For a few days after, you know, when I did the 63 days and then I was not doing it, you know, for a few days. I was like, wait a minute, what? I didn't get my walk. My mental health and mental clarity, I felt like were so much better during that time period also. That it made me want to keep it up. So I just say, if you can set a short goal, even for 7 days or 14 days, once you do it and you're in the habit, creating that habit is the biggest hurdle to overcome. And once you're there, you actually miss it when you don't do it. It makes you feel accomplished. When I would put my X on the calendar every day that I, you know, made my goal for that day, and I'm looking at my 30 days that I'm trying to get to, it made me feel really good.
That's a good idea.
And there were some times when it required me to take a shower in the morning, go somewhere for a meeting or a class, you know, that I was teaching, and then come home and walk for an hour and then shower again because I had something else at night. pain in the neck. But I had committed to just that 30 days, and I thought, I mean, you can do anything for 30 days, right? So I just said, okay, it's a pain in the neck, but I'm going to do it. And now, then you get to the point after the 63 days, you're like, okay, I didn't do it today, but I'll do an extra mile tomorrow and kind of make up for it.
Sure.
And you just kind of learn how to fit it in around. But if I haven't gone for, if I've gone for a long time without doing it, I'd start to feel bad about myself. It's just like, I'm like, okay, where's my mental clarity? Where's my time for myself, to be out there? And something about, this is going to sound kind of gross, but just sweating out, when you're
Sure.
exercising,
Yes.
it just makes you feel really good. So I definitely, my intention is to set another goal like that so that I can recreate that habit for myself, because I'm very haphazard right now about when I walk and where I go.
What would you say? I don't know why I was thinking about this, but with the travel that you do as well, what is your favorite meal that you like to come home to? And I know that's a culinary.
Yes, a chef question. I love it. As bad as it is for me, I really love steak dinner. I love a good steak.
Interesting.
I love seafood too. Scallops are my favorite. Love lobster bisque, which is also horrible for your health, but it's so delicious. So I would say something like that. Like if you were saying pick a meal, any meal, I might say a good steak dinner would be.
You heard it first here. So
and as long as you're not doing it every day of the week, it's not that bad for you, right? Do it when you're giving blood, because then you get all the iron. And I have had a couple times when they've rejected me at the blood bank because I had a little bit of anemia going on, and so now I always eat either a steak or spinach before I go in.
Good
to
idea.
make sure, that my blood is pumped up before I go.
Good idea.
Nothing like getting rejected at the blood bank when you're trying to give blood to somebody.
Oh, that is interesting. What is someone or something that has inspired you?
Oh, so many. That's a really hard question.
I know, I think I would have a hard time with that one too if someone asked me.
I've just had so many. Really, they say it takes a village, right? I've had so many people in my life, my mom, my grandparents. I look at the courage it takes to run into a burning building and save somebody in a fire, or, police officers standing between you and somebody else. Those acts of courage I think are really important. But, working with the Ebi Children's Hospital, also thinking about the courage that it takes for, a 10-year-old to face cancer, and just or any illness, and just the grit that they find to be able to go on when all their friends are out playing and they have to be in the hospital for months. And that can be for, their parents too. Courage you have to find as a mom to just drop everything and be there for your kid while they're dealing with something like that.
Absolutely.
So there are just so many people that inspire. Inspiring people are all around. And I think if we just kind of take time to notice what people put into their jobs and put into their lives, they're there. They're all there.
Mm-hmm.
People that will stop and help somebody change a tire. Like, I look on the highway if somebody is off to the side of the road and somebody has stopped to help them, just out of the kindness of their heart, to get all dirty and mucky on the side of a road to help change a tire or something like that. Just so many people out there doing amazing things. Teachers, so incredible what they do for the kids, because it's not just teaching their subject, they're loving
Sure.
them and teaching them
Sure.
life lessons.
Yes.
Coaches also. So yeah, there's just so much inspiration out there to move you forward.
Do you have a favorite quote or a mantra that you live by?
My husband's kind of mantra has become my mantra, which is a grateful heart rejects depression.
Ooh, I love that.
So we just try to be grateful, look for the things that we can have gratitude for, and when you see all of the things that you are blessed with, it's really hard to feel bad about your life. We have so many blessings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I think I might know this question, but what's your favorite color?
So if you're just asking me to pick a color, purple is my favorite.
Okay.
I also do love pink because of Komen, so that's another favorite. But the purples and blues, I tend to kind of gravitate toward.
I was thinking pink, so I was close.
Pink's in there, yeah.
I was close. Is there anything that you would like to share with the health community that we haven't touched on?
I think it's really easy for us to kind of beat ourselves up over what we're not doing, or how we don't look like we used to, or don't feel like we used to. And I just think we also just really have to give ourselves grace.
Oh, yes.
Everybody is just trying to do their best. And I will say, as women, we tend to put ourselves last on the list when it comes to attending to our own needs. And as you hear, when you take a flight, because I have taken many in the last couple of years with my job, but the flight attendant always says you put your mask on before you try to help a child or assist somebody else. We have to keep our masks on. We have to just make sure as women that we are taking care of ourselves, that we are finding time. And if you need to see it as an investment in your children, an investment in your parents or your spouse, that's fine too. But I just think that making that investment is not just a gift to yourself. It's a gift to the people that love you, because you're so important to them too. And then the second thing I would say is just thank you to all the amazing healthcare workers out there. I've had surgeries. My husband just had a hip replacement surgery. We have the most amazing healthcare workers here, people who are compassionate, who care about their patients, who want you to be well. And I think that that's really important for people to recognize how lucky we are that if we do have a problem, there are people here who can help you and fix you. And so I just would say thank you to all the healthcare workers out there who invest their hearts and their time in us when we come for help.
I think that's one fascinating thing, that through this whole journey and with interviewing and meetings that I've had with other advocates in healthcare, just this morning, I had a person like, I could have a Lamborghini, I could have a great big house, I could have lots of money. I'm not in it for that. Mm-hmm. I'm here to change people's lives, and I'm here to help them. And as soon as he said that to me, like, amen, that's my heart too, is, there's not enough. I don't care about the money. That has nothing to do with watching a smile being put on another person's face, because you just changed their life. Right. You just changed their diagnosis, and they have a path again. They have hope.
Yeah.
And how
that is so important. That hope is so important. In fact, I'll tell you a really quick story about a research study that I read about, and I use this sometimes, where they put rats into a tub of swirling water to see how long they could swim. And the average time was something like I don't know, 12 minutes or 10 minutes or, something like that, until they would succumb to the water and drown. And they determined then, they did another group where they're just as the rat was about to go down under the water, they would save him. They would dry him off and let him rest for a little bit. And the second time they put him back into the swirling water, he would last for like 2 hours or 3 hours. I mean, it was something incredible, some time. So you look at it and you say, they were giving up at 12 minutes and now they were able to make it for 2 hours. How did that happen? And the only thing that the thing that they determined was, hope was the difference. The rats in that second group knew what being saved looked like. So they just kept swimming, thinking that somebody would, reach down and pull them out.
What an experience.
And I feel like that's kind of where we are today with innovation and research and all of these amazing things that are happening. We know so much more about all sorts of conditions and cancers and mental illness and all of these things that contribute to who we are and how well we are, our overall wellness. And tomorrow there's going to be a new discovery. And 3 months from now, there's going to be a new discovery. And it may be the discovery where they say, this is the big one. Like, we have figured out, we've unlocked the cancer question, right? And so if you can just hold on, if you can just give people that hope and hold on until it's found. Hold on for another week, hold on for another month or another 6 months.
I'm so emotional I could cry. Like, I'm
Don't cry, Tara.
I'm so full of gratitude. Just that you took the time, as busy as you are, what you do.
I think what you're doing is incredible, and I always feel like I want to help other women who are doing incredible things too. So thank you for what you're doing and the impact that you're going to make on people and their wellness and giving people ideas and just encouragement to be able to take steps, no matter how small, because it just needs to be something small. You don't have to make major changes to see major improvements. And we tend to want to eat the whole elephant at once, and if you can just kind of take a bite at a time, you're going to see that something is happening for yourself. Yeah.
You're an amazing person. You are. I'm very, very honored.
Thank you. My honor is mine.
Thank you so much.